respond with a jet south, right? And then in response, he's gonna listen to what he feels from me. I'm gonna do a punch, he's gonna lift for the bone side. And we come back to ready position. So 3 moves, ready position, 1 and 2. Back to ready position, 1, 2, back to ready position. So foot saw and time is the ready position. His first move, I'm responding to his first movement with a jet saw, and he's responding to my movement with a bone saw. And we come back to ready position. So we'll pair up together, and we'll do this together. Are you ready? Are we gonna pair up or just?
Yeah, pair up. And you're not trying to hit each other. You're stopping short of striking. Because you want to get extension in the arm and keep your shoulder blades back. So I don't want you guys doing stuff like this. So strike. Keep your shoulder blade back and just strike. And using a vertical palm to hit him in the solar plexus. Vertical palm. From the tongue, vertical palm, then bone. Okay? Get a partner. Yeah, Grandmaster started this. He learned it from an elementary school teacher. The kids were being restless, and the teacher went, and they all stopped. So that's what we did. So if we're doing this properly, he's filming. So if you're doing this properly, your folk sound have the fingers pointing to your opposite toe because it mimics a canine's paw. Says Wing Chun, our Wing Chun system is snake, crane, and fox. So this is the way a dog sits when it's begging position. You don't want to do it like this, like you see in other schools, where your hand is flat. There's a straight lines of him, kid striking. The only way for him to stop me is if you do it the wrong way, is push down, and I go around. See, but if he's doing it like a foot, he doesn't have to do anything. See, I can't touch him. My hand goes away. See, because his forearms gets bigger here. So in this instance, where I'm here, I can't touch him because he's got forward intent and his arm wedges out. He can't touch me if he pushes forward because my arm wedges out. Now he can touch me if he locks his arm, but if he locks his arm, he's lost coverage. I can hit him too. So he wants to try to touch me without locking his arm out. So I can't touch him here. So what I do is I snake up his arm. I turn my palm. Now I'm at the fabric part of his arm. Now I can strike. I created an opening. So when I strike, he juts. Now he's got an opening. He punches and I cover. When you punch, you don't lock all the way out because I can slide in and hit him. So you're not trying to hit me. He wants to punch because we have something called a capping punch. See, I can hit you. I can hit him like this. If I lock my arm out, he can hit me. So I'm pressing on his arm, still hitting at the same time. So I create an opening by turning my palm. I exploit the opening, catches it, and he punches. And then you go back to that starting position where we're at an impasse right here. We can't touch each other. Okay? Remember that. I need to try. Stick around, bang. Good. Bang.
No, he's just looking start away.
I'm supposed to have forward intent. If I push out, he's not going to argue, he's going to release. And now he's on the inside, and I have to come back. Now, we started out with my hand on top. I push out, he's going to let go. So now he's going to strike at me, I'm going to jut and punch and whatever. And if he pushes out, I'm going to leave my elbow on this fixed point in space, but circle around to come back on the inside. So it's my turn, right? Same thing is if he's doing the folk sao and he pushes down too hard, I'm going to release and go on top, and he's going to do a ton. And then now I'm going to be on top again. So the seniors help everybody else out. So if I push out, or if I push down, you release, because we don't argue strength. A smaller person can't beat somebody if they go force against force, okay? Dead in the water. I wasn't pushing forward. If he moves his hand, I immediately touch him. If he moves his hand, move your hand quickly. And I want you to just move your hand away like that. Move your hand away. If I take too long to strike, that means I wasn't focused mentally. So it's like when someone says, on your mark, get ready, mark, get set. When you're ready to push that potential energy, you should have that when you release sound. So if you release your hand, I touch it immediately. If you release, and I go here, that means I was pushing there. Okay? So test your partner's sensitivity. Okay? This is why, one of the reasons it's important. So we're doing, let's cheese out. Let's do it in slow motion. He's super fast. So, I mean human speed, not Arsenio speed. So, slow motion. I push out, you circle around in slow motion. You circle around. Now when you circle around, what we were doing before is we were just covering. So I push out, he circles around, he's gonna strike me. To the chest, going to the chest, no shoulder. So I push out, he circles around, and strikes. Right? Do it again, I push out, he circles around and strikes. So if he circles around and strikes, I have to shut. Because if I circle around and don't do anything, I'm gonna get hit. Right? So I push out, he circles around, I shut, and then I punch. See? He strikes. Right? He pushes out, I circle around, and I strike. And then he juts to cover me, and then he punches. See, now his hands up top. So we do this a few times. I push out, he circles around, I jut to cover, then I punch. I'm doing this slow because when he circles around, I'm gonna do it like that. We're doing it slow for the people who don't know this. So I push out, I lift myself an opening because I'm not there. So I have to cover that opening by jut. And that jut is from sitting towel form. When you jut like this, you use the back of your thumb, it's like a hook. See, this is a snake, right? So when I do techniques like that, or if he throws a punch with his right hand, see, I can hook it. If he does a vertical punch, it's even easier. But even here, see, I use that to hook to turn them off. So that's why you have to put your fingers away, the back of your hands are hooked. So when I push out, he strikes, I jut, I punch. Then we go back to the beginning. Okay? Then he pushes out, see, and he, see? So help them with this. This is gonna be a little more difficult. And there's another aspect we'll go to next. Watch it carefully.
I gotta remember that.
So from here, I push down, circle around, slowly, slow motion, so we can analyze everything that's happening. I push down, I give him too much weight, he lets go. He circles around, right? So when he circles around, I see the opening and I strike. Don't do anything. Just do this again. Just wait to start that part again. Actually, he did the right thing. I wanted him not to do the right thing. So I push down, you circle around slowly. As you circle around, I have an opening. Keep going around, a little faster, and then I strike. See? So now do it a little faster speed. When I push down, he circles around, I see an opening. He's gonna try to strike me. So if I push down, circle around and strike me in the center. We get somebody who knows how to do that. I push down, he circles around, he comes to strike me, the center, right? So I push down, he strikes. So now, his goal is to strike me. When I push down, his goal is to strike me. But as he circles around, I start going forward. So he's got to change direction. That's why interruptibility is important. So he's about to strike me, and then I strike at him, he has to stop and jump back. So he pushes down on my hand. I'm gonna circle around and hit it because he's pushed up and do anything. I strike, wait a minute, he pushes down on my hand. I circle around and strike, but he strikes me. So I have to stop my strike. So I have to jump. You got that? So he pushes down. My goal is to hit it, right? Because he pushed down. So I'm about to hit him, but he strikes me. I have to stop my punch. So it's like I'm about to do something and the situation changes. That's why you don't land on your heel.
Right.
If I go to attack this guy and I land on my heel, he pulls out a razor blade, I'm gonna have to shift the weight on this to my balls of my feet to push off. That's why we always fight on the ball of the feet. I see some Wing Chun people teaching this shift on the heels. You have nowhere to go. And no fighter does that. If a boxer does that, his corner's gonna tell him, this guy is on his heels, that's when you hit him, okay? So he pushes down, I strike, then he punches, and I have to come back. So my goal was to strike him, and I do an O-S move, I'm gonna say the word.
Trump says it.
Yes. Come on, just keep the politics out. All right, so, okay, you guys got it, go ahead. So everyone knows, we prefer to fight parallel leg, that's the same side, as opposed to cross leg. With cross leg, I'm in line for this punch, you know, I'm right in front of that punch. But if I do parallel leg, that punch is further away from me. And I can ideally get away from the other hand. Sometimes you have to fight cross leg, you can't help it. So we have to deal with that too. So we're gonna do a cross leg first, since it's more difficult. So if we're doing cross leg Chi-Sao, we're gonna touch each other at the wrists. So ideally in Wing Chun, I wanna divide my opponent's body into 2 equal parts. So obviously if he's standing here, square, my hand would be here. If he turned here, see, I want 2 equal parts. If you turn here, it would be 2 equal parts, whatever, okay? So we wanna be on the same track here, we don't wanna be here. So this was when we found the plum flower poles, will be a pattern of a bunch of dots, like the 5 pips on the domino, where you have the 5 dots. So I'm on a dot, I'm on the upper left-hand dot, the lower right-hand dot, and he's there too, so we should be in the same track. Move your foot over. So we're in the same tracks, not over here, because I'm on his blind side, he's on my blind side. So, like I said, ideally, I want to divide his body into 2 equal parts. So my hand is here, right here, see? But that puts him offline. He wants his hand where? Where you want your hand? See, that puts me offline. He's got the advantage. But just for the sake of this drill, just for the drill, we share the line. We never do that for drill. I want my hand here, and you want yours where? See where my hand goes away. So we're gonna do a basic Pak Sao drill. I'm gonna take a half step forward, he's gonna take a half step back, he's gonna pop my hand. Just do that for a while. Go back. Pop, just do that. Okay? Okay? Do that with a partner. Don't do anything else. 50 times each side. He's gonna pop my hand. So he's knocked my hand that way. So in Silang Tao form, when you do the punch, when you first learn, you leave your wrist in the center, you do a Xun Sao. But when you get more advanced, you leave the center, what's called a Lao Sao. You don't want to punch and make a big circle. So if I, parallel, let's do it parallel. If I punch and you pop my hand, if I leave it here, I can't get around it. I have to leave the center. So I want to make it a small circle. So he pops, I have to leave the center to come around and attack. I don't want to do this and make a big circle because I'm open, right? So we know that. So I'm going to step in. He's going to pop. I'm going to Lao Sao and step off the line. So all I'm doing is taking a half step to the right. So this is from Silang Tao. See? Okay? So I punch. He pops. I should have popped. So I pop. He pops. So when I pop, he's pushing my hand that way. Am I going to fight him? He's pushing that way. Let it go. Okay? So, real slow. 50 times. I'm sorry.
So we just did the pop strike, right? So we're just doing the Lao Sao, right?
That's passive.
Yeah. So now we're gonna make it a little bit more, put the pressure back on, right? So watch closely the left hand, and I'll do it again slowly, right? Did you see that?
No.
Slow motion.
We got a Hollywood Arsenier.
So we have.
Oh.
Yeah. Right to the solar plexus. Take the wind out. Or the diaphragm. You might as well put pressure back on your opponent.
So the gum sao, right, does the strike from there. It's like football, right? You gain yardage, you don't want to come back and start again. So I've gotten this far. Let's just keep going, right? A, B, 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 B. Right, no A, no C in Wing Chun. Point A to B, point A to B, right? So we're just going to use the gum sao hand, right? And we do the Lao gum. We just strike from there, right? Stepping on the outside, controlling the lead elbow, and then maybe you chun la, or you have some fun with it afterwards, right?
Okay. So I step in, I pop. I have an option to circle around and pop and go to the side, or I can step in and from my front stance, step into a side neutral. So I'm gonna show you something. See? And then I adjust. So, and that may have to be because maybe there's an obstacle here. His friend is here. I don't want my back to his friend. Yeah, so I don't want to do this. And his opponent hits me. So I want to go here and go away so I can push him into him. Okay? So I'm going from here, circle around. Wait, sorry, I did it wrong. Here, check here, and then adjust. So I'm going to be facing away from him on the first one. Check, and then adjust. Okay? Do that really slow. So you take a half step back and pop. He pops, I tune. Tune means threading. Like the thread goes under the material when you sew. So whenever your hand goes underneath, whether it's this way or this way, it's shooting south. Okay, so I tune and then step to the side and lock. Okay, I don't want to stay here and lock it because if he gets the grab it, nice elbow, he'll step in. It's my shot. So when I do this, I step to the side. So if he's ready to fake me and do a shot, I'm not standing in front of him. So hawk, so his hand's going that way, I tune. What I don't want somebody to do is this, like go out here, because I've given him my elbow now, right? So this is a finger jab. I want you to stop short of doing the jab unless you have some eye protection. So in classroom, just do something like this. This is really a jab to the eye. So, block. I step outside. One of the things I want to do is check his balance. If I just lock here, he's got perfect balance. He can move around and do stuff. See? It doesn't matter who you are, the primordial part of your brain is going to make you want to find your balance. So I take a person's balance. So if it's a bigger guy, I want him to be off balance. So if he hits me, it'll be glancing blows. If he's standing straight, you torque. So I pop, tune, take the balance. Okay? So watch, really slow. Pop, and I tune. I bring this hand back. I did a video, and some guy said that's not Wing Chun, because why did I bring my hand back? So I'm not going to bring it back. I don't know. He said it's not Wing Chun? I don't know. So I'm going to leave it there, okay? When you do chain punching, you bring your hand back, right? So here we go. Okay? Take care.
Hey, Cinco, wasn't that from the magazine cover?
Oh. Yeah. So if a fight starts, that's pre-contact. He throws a punch, say he hits me, that's contact. Or if I block it, that's contact. So all fights start pre-contact. Two guys talking trash, bam, one guy throws a punch, I block, created a bridge. After I block, what happens? An exchange. Now either I pursue him or I retreat. So you got pre-contact, contact, exchange, proceed, and retreat. Retreat. Pursuit, retreat. Pursuit and retreat can be interchanged. So why are we doing these drills? Because we're showing you what to do once you've made contact. So we're skipping the pre-contact aspect. So we're starting from contact. So in pre-contact, I would maybe want to throw a punch at him, and all he has to do is buse out to stop my punch. See? He throws his hand up. So if I do this, I have to get that obstruction out of the way. So what you're training with these drills is once you've created a bridge, all Southern Chinese styles use that term of bridge when you've made a contact with a person's leg or arm. So he's not going to let me strike him because he's got forward intent. I have to move it out of the way and strike. So that's why we're doing these drills. Okay? So we're going to move on. So we're going to start rotating. This is going to be two arms, you saw. So I'm rotating. He's doing a fuk sao and a bong sao. I'm doing a fuk sao and a bong sao. And we rotate. Ideally, your elbow should be higher than the wrist so the energy rolls off. If you see me do my left arm, I have a rotator cuff problem. I can't do a good bong sao on this side. All right, so don't do what I do. Okay, so rotate. Now, I can't strike him because he's got a good fuk sao. He can't strike me because I'm stopping him from coming forward. Unless I do my fuk like this. Some people do their fuk sao like this. Now, if you look at this, it's a straight line to me. So this position is called fuk in Cantonese. And it's based on two characters put together, a hound and a man. The man's controlling or subduing the hound. If you look at a canine, when they sit up, their paws are pointing downward, that side next. So if he's got a hook like this and I strike, he has to push down to stop me. So I go on top. But if he's got a good futsal, I can't strike him. Then a lot of times you see people do, see, the hands are doing this. So if I have a sloppy futsal, Pak, just don't kill me. Pak, see, I'm not gonna cover it, just do it, see. But if I got a good futsal, see? So when you see people doing this, take advantage of that. And I'm not knocking anybody's lineage, but that's just physics, physiology. So if his hook is flat, look, I got a straight line. Boom.
Nothing to
But if
hold
he's got
on.
a good hook, I can't get through. Because hook means to control or subdue. So you have to do a good hook side. Another thing you don't want to do is driving the bus, doing this. So if I go this way, just carry me along. No, you just push me with this. You don't even have to step to the side, just step to the right. See? No, well, let's just push, see? See? So if I'm going like this,
You just keep
just
it
carry
going.
me on. So your energy should be going towards your opponent's center of mass. It's not driving a bus. Some people sell a rattan ring to practice, and they swear by it. So how do you maintain contact with that ring? You have to push out. Because if you do it correctly, the ring will just fall on top of your arms. So if you train this way, I'm training how to push out. And look, I'm leaving myself open. So all of your energy should be going forward towards your opponent. So let's practice rotating slowly with each other. And the ideal way to do it is your fingertips should be in the center of your palm, and then your wrists should be over each other, okay? You don't want it like this, nor like that. So let's practice rolling. Get a partner, and all the instructors, please help the beginners learn how to do this roll. And you want to keep it tight. You don't want to do a big circle, okay? Let's try that for a while. Then I'll show you some technique. He does the pop. I can do a ton and a gum stop. Got to show you that. So he pops. I can step away and do it, and then hit and strike. Or I can also puck. I can attack. That's if someone's weaker than you. Ideally, I just take a half step back, ton, and then strike and then lock. So he strikes in. I use this for support. Hit, strike. So in actuality, it's going to be this. You don't see the time. It's implied. Because I'm not going to go 1, 2. Because it gives him time to do something. So as soon as he pops, the time's there. It's like, put up. Okay? So let's try that one. He pops. See? And then step off the line and strike. Let's try that a couple times. I forgot to show you that. When he does the pop, I don't do this. When you do the tan sao and silong tao, you're spreading or dispersing. So tan in Cantonese means to spread. So when he does it, I spread here. So here, I spread. And in case he knocks my hand away, I can't spread, that's why I use this gum sao to support it. So when he does it, I spread out, and it slides right up to his face. So that's why you don't really see the tan. If I'm doing it for real, you won't see the tan. He just runs into my palm. But when I teach it, I show tan first and then strike. Okay? So make sure you don't do that, because look, all of this is open. So as soon as he does that, I go towards his center of mass or somewhere in that vicinity. And I use this gum, strike, and then step off line, and you can do all kinds of stuff with it. Okay? So let's go back to Chi Sao. So we're gonna, the two-hand Chi Sao. We're gonna do the 8-count drill. It's basic. So here's how we're gonna do this. I'm gonna strike, he's gonna jut. He's gonna punch, I'm gonna tan instead of bone. He's gonna fork. Then we're gonna rotate. He's gonna strike, I'm gonna jut. I'm gonna punch, I'm gonna tan. I'm gonna fork. I'm gonna rotate. So here's the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-count drill. You'll see why this is important later on. Go ahead, do the part. So, we're rotating. So I'm gonna do something, one of our techniques. I wanna do a chun sao and step to the side and lock and hit it. So the rotating, I'm gonna do this and hit it. So that's how most people teach it. But he wouldn't let me do this because once I stepped to the side, he would buke and then lock me. So this way, he didn't fall for it. I was hoping he would look at his shoe and I would tap it.
That's the first
So
time.
that's for, he knows me since he was 9 years old. So I throw this so he juts. It's a distraction. So I distract him and then I can go around. If I just try to step here, he's not gonna let me. Right? So I have to do a distraction. So we're rotating. So right from the town south position, I do a strike. Hopefully he juts. And then I bring the hand up. So when he juts, he brings my hand right where I want it to be, right here. So I step, and the reason I bring this hand up is in case he steps to his right and throws a round punch. I got my woo up. So this is why when people laugh at our woo down here, I go, I'm doing it wrong, but I just like to get hit in the face, so I keep it up here. Okay? So from here, strike, chun, block, strike. So watch. I do a strike, distract him, right? So this can go with a front stance. If he's got a closed guard, I'm gonna attack like that, something like that, attack him. But if he's an open guard, I might do this to his eye. So if he moves my hand, no, if you use the lead hand. See? So I fake to elicit a response, to another punch, right? So I fake to another punch. So that's what I'm doing here. So from here, I'm faking blocking. So I throw something here, and I come around and take his hand. So we're moving around. I go, well, you use the lead hand. Okay. The rear hand, I do something different. See? See? See that? So that's what you're doing here. So from here, the distraction from Chisao. So the distraction would be the strike, then I come around and lock. I can also come around, I can also do this and step back. If the person's stronger, you might want to step back. Tommy. Sorry. I trained with him in the morning. Those videos you see on the beach, he's a rock. Okay? Don't let me lock you. I'm not locking him, I'm trying. So say someone is too strong for you to lock, so you use his body to pull you in the right position. See? So if I can't pull you, right, I use your body. Right? So let's see, we're going from here. So in his instance, from Chisao. So from his instance, if I would do this or that, he could push into me. I'm off balance, so I might not be able to move him. So I go from here and I step. So with my whole body, I have a better chance of moving him off balance. And you want to keep a big guy with his weight on one leg. See? So I can all your weight there. So if you're here, you can move around and do all kinds of stuff. But I got your balance. Okay? All right? Let's go. Try that technique. Strike around here. Okay, so now when I do this and I lock to hit, you step to the right and do a box out with this hand. And come around. See? So the weakest part of a human grip is here, the thumb and the index finger. So he grabs me tight. Look, I don't care how big you are. Look, he grabs me here. You come out. So when he locks me here, look, I just go against the thumb. See? Look at this. I go against that. So he does the technique to me. He strikes. See? So I do a fuck sound. Fuck means to whisk or brush. So when you're doing a gun, in the center, this part here where your solar plexus is called your sound, your heart. So when my wrist bone hits here, right about here, this is no longer a gun sound. It's a fuck sound. It's whisking. So I can whisk up, around. It means like a brush. So when I do this, gun, fuck. So when he grabs me, I just do a fuck sound. So I don't stay there too. So when he does the technique, see, I try to do it before he even gets it locked. Once you get really good at this, you'll feel him doing that before he gets whipped. Okay? So, see? So let's do this so they do the footwork. So he strikes, he juts, he tunes. He's kind of locked. If you let him get the lock in, it's going to be harder. But if he does get the lock in, so what is this for? Soon top. The chit stops. So let's say he gets the lock in. I'm too slow. I can't get out. But we're not going to do that second. I don't want to confuse you. Let's do this really slow. He strikes. Watch me. I step back. Go against the weakest part of his grip. Let's get this with a camera. One more time. So you strike. So his finger and his thumb is a weak position. I fucks out. Check.
Because I was gonna punch with this hand, so he just dealt with that.
I didn't even know you were going to punch.
Right, so he just covered.
I wasn't even thinking.
Right.
Wow, thank God for me. Okay, so he's strikes.
Here.
That's a different thing.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So
Here. That's the punch shaped up.
So, but notice, he's doing a straight line. I'm doing a circle. He should beat me. What saves me is that when he does this, I step offline.
Right.
If I tried to stay here when he did it, he's going to beat me. Because I'm doing an arc, he's doing a straight line. So, what I did by accident before, if really he does that, you would shoot. But you need to know how to move and get out of the way when you're fighting a guy who's moving around. Because most of our drills, someone's staying here. But people are moving around, bobbing and weaving, right? So you got to deal with that. So he does that and move offline. You can't stay there. If he's really fast and you can't get it, shoot him. Okay? So let's try this with the time. When he strikes, this one. Sometimes just do this one when he strikes. Shoot. So do them both, mix them up. Since we're pressed for time, change up, okay? So I go. So from here, see? So right here, and then lock. Yeah. See, when I did this one, I only go down a little bit. So if I step back, right here, right? So when you do it, it's when you're in the home position. Right? It's like a pop tune, it could be the more of a pop to the moose out. Step to the side and strike. The only thing about this, if he's bigger, push into me, you take me out balance. So for the smaller people, I suggest here, step back. Have a longer base. Okay, got more reach to it. Okay? Try that with a front hand. Slaps are stronger than punches. Open hand strike. So I'm not gonna do it hard. The slap, his attention goes here now because the nerve endings are closer to the surface of the skin because the skin is thinner here.
PC6.
This is the yin side of the arm. It's more delicate. And the acupuncture guy.
PC6.
Okay, see, he knows. Okay? See, he's taking it to another traditional Chinese medicine aspect. So I slap. You have to do a slap. See? Now his mind is there. Wing Chun is redirection. Then I step off or step back. Okay?
Better than we were doing.
Oh, you cheated on that one.
Yeah, look, shove this a little
Here's another one, sorry. So we're gonna do from here. You see the lancao in the Silam Tao form? The bar arm? It's a right angle. If you push me, right angles are weak, especially since I have a bad shoulder. That's why I do the bong sao is 135 degrees. If you push, I can deal with that. But right angles are weak. So we have two right angle blocks. We have the horizontal lansao, and then the vertical lansao. That's the one you see in G. So here's a use for that line. I'm going to step to the side, step a little bit forward, park, and hit. But the only problem with this, you can circle around and hit me. Can you get over here in this angle? Let's just do it this way. So from here, when his hand is going up, I'm going to pop and hit. But if I don't pin that elbow, I'm going to circle around and hit. So as I'm doing it, I step forward a little bit. I pin his arm straight. So I'm pulling with this hand and pushing with that hand to pin his arm. I hit and then step off. Okay? So as we're doing this, we rotate. So I would do it now. Now. Because this is where my pop, my foot would be, you to pop his hand. And if you do that floppy foot, I don't even have to do much. If you do a good foot out, where you're redirecting my energy that way, I'm gonna have to really move to the side and pull. But if you do this, the hand like that, I'm just gonna go right in. See? It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't mean I'm great. It's physics and physiology. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the side, step in, pop, and then step off the line. I can step back, or I can, whatever. Okay, try that. Everybody look, back to the white wall, let's line up.